Must be much nicer for tourists to see a leafy green city rather than one that's just full of roads and traffic. There must be some balance to be had here. Buses are fantastic in Hereford, but perhaps we should be investing more in public transport and less on spending money on roads, and that would create a much nicer city for all of us, for tourists and for local people. Surveys have consistently shown that approximately 12 to 15% of the traffic that's on the A49 is through traffic. This means most of the congestion is locally generated. We need to reduce traffic, not to add more to the problem. At the same time, we'll be destroying the environment for the residents of this street in the process. So in Hereford, in the city, we don't seem to pay much attention to the experience for pedestrians. We seem to have let the cars take over. Tourists would probably really enjoy walking around the city walls and looking at our beautiful historic city and all the history that we have here. But instead we've kind of given priority to cars, and it seems to me we're giving more and more priority to cars, even though research shows that a lot of people that are travelling by car could actually make those journeys by bus or by walking, because they're short local journeys.
Endlessly having to stop at traffic lights doesn't produce free-flowing traffic and isn't good for our state of mind as drivers. The lesson of history is that we're never going to tarmac our way out of our traffic problems. We're never going to build enough roads and car parks without destroying the city. So if we can't accommodate traffic, we need to find ways of reducing it. We can start by redesigning the roads in a way that makes them safer, quieter and pleasanter, and less intimidating for those of us who would like to leave the car at home sometimes and walk or cycle instead. If you can't walk and cycle and your public transport is pretty much non-existent, then what are you going to do? You're going to use a car, and you're going to use it like this because you have no choice. Anybody who walks or cycles around Hereford now is constantly aware of the degree to which red lights are simply ignored. It's not brought us safe, attractive, quiet streets and free-flowing traffic. It's brought a hostile, dangerous, miserable and degraded city landscape in which pedestrians and cyclists have been pretty much designed off the road. Anyone who's tried to negotiate this junction on a bike will understand why you think twice as a cyclist in Hereford before venturing out. You'd have to be suicidal to negotiate this roundabout on a bike, which probably accounts for the fact that we can't see any cyclists. Junctions like these are typical of engineering solutions up and down the land, and clearly thought up by people who give no consideration at all to cyclists and don't regard cycling as a feasible mode of transport.
It seems to me really important that one of the things we do is to encourage, whatever changes are made, to stress that street aspect, which naturally calms down traffic and naturally adds to the beauty of the city and naturally gives all of the famous air conditioning effects and the dust removal effects that we know trees have. And if we can pull that kind of treatment together of the street, if we can make it into that kind of space, then I think it could be really actually a positive outcome from what's been quite a difficult and emotion-filled moment for many people in the city.